lot of time in between. That's why I had time now to think of what else can I do so that I can sustain myself. And then again, I understood my problems. That how do I sort myself out? I cannot go back into employment. So you can only sort yourself if whatever savings you have, you can put them somewhere to multiply. So that multiplication thinking came to me very early, and I could save out of them whatever amount could come out of it. I could save and then I reinvest back slowly by slowly. Yeah.
Having the first employee,
Yeah.
how was it like? What was the feeling? How was
To me, he wasn't like an employee. He was like part of my support system. This guy he's been with us actually until 2015 is when he left, but he grew with me because he was a casual who used to come and wash and clean the offices around there. He was employed by the landlord. So as you call them, maybe caretakers or cleaners. And then one day I asked him whether he can actually go with me to the airport and do some work. And he said, yeah, I'm free. And we did. And slowly by slowly, he was willing to learn. Yeah. So he's called Lucas Ayunga. He's one man I respect a lot because he was with me for more than 10 years since I started the business. So he left for other issues. But at that time, to me, he was a partner. To me, he was a friend. He understood what we were going through, that unless you wake up to do something, you cannot earn. And that's what he used to do. I could leave him in the shop or in the business opening. I called it a shop because it was a front shop on a building. So we could not call it an office. People used to wonder why we are running an office in a shop. So he was the only guy I could live there as I ran my errands, go meet my clients, go to the banks. Yeah, so it was a good experience, and I think that is what has been part of me. I don't look at my employees as separate from the business. I look at them as a family of the business. Yeah.
um, talk to me, Dennis, about that element of the second customer.
Yes.
Now, this is actually the first customer
Uh-huh.
outside now employment. Of course, you came with this one customer,
Yes. Yes.
and also the first thing that you thought is the first milestone that was very tangible, and you felt that is a big win for me.
Yeah. As I said earlier, it is all about customer satisfaction. And from one client, you get a referral to the next client. So through the first client, I got a referral to another seafood client. And these guys were bringing in herbal products. They're called Tianchi. Tianchi was here, it was big. And then they closed, I think they went to, to West Africa, but they were like GNLD. Yeah, they could supply similar products like GNLD. So, and that was my second client, brought in 2 containers. How I met him is because his containers were stuck at the port. They were going through issues with customs, issues with the clearing agent who had disappeared after being paid. So when I was given that responsibility, I had only one simple job to get help sort out the customs issues and then go back to the port and sort out the clearance because the agent had done like 50% of the work. So now I went in, and because of my aggressiveness and of course professionalism, that I managed to sort this client in less than 2 days. Goods had been stuck for more than 10 days. So in 2 days, I could sort them out, have the goods cleared, delivered. When I delivered, they said, the next shipment is yours. And they requested for my company profile, they requested for my documentation, quotations, and so forth. So that's how the second customer came on board. And I sustained that client for about a whole year, yeah, until they moved to another business. Yeah, so it was a growth phase for me at that time. Is when I now moved, even relocated offices and moved to a better, spacious office. Started employing 3 people, 2 people, brought on board a partner at that time. So clients naturally have been coming through referrals for what you have done for the other customers, and then they refer this person to you. Develop trust with them, develop friendship, and then you can start a relationship is developed. Then you can work with them. Yeah.
What was your biggest win in this phase of development now?
Of course, that I'm creating new friendships, that I'm creating my network because I had zero. Yeah, from employment, I didn't have any network. I could not go back to my previous employer's clients. So the win was I'm now able to actually create my own network. I'm able to have new friends, and I'm able to have new customers who are bringing value to my business. Yeah.
Are you able to indicate in terms of shillings your biggest win at that particular point of beginning that you felt?
Yeah, that is around 2010, 2011, when we had really expanded, really grown, because we were employing about 15 people at that time. And we were able even to purchase trucks, which were carrying products or goods from the port of Mombasa to Nairobi. So the biggest win was that we were actually out there and people could tell of the brand and the name in the market. We could actually pick customers that had been serviced by big enterprises like DHL, Motoro, which was Tanzania at that time, big business like Andy Forwarders. We could pick those customers and we were able to service clients who had been serviced by international corporates. Yeah, so we felt that we are actually serious and we were a brand that was doing well in the market. Yeah.
And there comes a time in a business where you need faith and where you feel like you are hanging on a thread.
Yeah.
Everything is just about to crash, or on the flip side, if you cross that barrier,
Yes.
things will be fantastic or phenomenal. I don't know whether you have such kind of a situation that you can be able to share.
Yeah, as I said earlier, as the business grows, it comes with bigger challenges because you're no longer the one-man shop. Now you have a running office with structures. You have people to care for. You have bills to pay beyond the rent and beyond the electricity and water in the office. And you have daily expenses that run the business. So those challenges came around 2014, 15, when we had issues of debt collections, especially from customers and the trucking business, which actually was very expensive to run at that time. So it was a very low moment because we had claims also coming up. One of the trucks got an accident, and you have a claim from the client, you have a claim from the person involved in the accident, and you have several things that you chase. And at even my age, I wasn't able to comprehend and even handle those problems. At times you could cry because you want to sit back and don't want to talk to anyone. So that is how challenging an enterprise can be when it's growing, that you didn't foresee and plan for this growth. It has been happening naturally, so organically, and at one time things just come and happen at the same time, that you're having also partnership problems, that you cannot sit on one table again as you used to be and talk to each other. So it's all about this one coming at this time and this one telling you, oh, for this one telling you that's not my problem, I'm not the one who did this. So it becomes a blame game every day. And
this problem came at the same time.
Yeah, I can say it within 1 year. We had a myriad of problems. Of course, we started with a few issues internally, and now it became an external problem. And when we had now the partnership problems, then that is when it went low completely. So in 2014, thereabouts, we had to close our first enterprise because we could not, out the debts that we had, the issues that we had internally, and the claims that we had, we could not actually hold the business running. Yeah, because if you go for 10 months, you've not paid your rent and your landlord is still keeping you around and you have loans in the banks and all of you cannot sit on one table to see each other eye to eye, then it is a major problem. So at that time, I had to speak to a few friends and who advised me, please, that is suicidal. Can you please stop doing it? Yeah.
Are you in a position to expound on the kind of issues that were there?
Yeah, this is basically partners' understanding of the challenges of the business. You've come on board because you're a friend, and I brought you on board because at that particular time I felt you're competent on one field, say operations. Then the other person was competent in documentation and customs management. And that is how we came together. We didn't come together because we are all passionate of the idea that we want to run a business. And over time, that's what I've learned, that by the time you onboard anyone into your idea, they must be part of the idea. And that's how you see people like Facebook succeeding, because the founders had one vision. When they started, they knew what they're starting. They knew what they're doing. Same thing to Apple. So if you cannot have that, then you better run it alone. Yeah. And then later on you can sell, because when you sell, people are coming in as a transaction and they know what they're coming to do and their roles are very clear. But when you start a business, your roles are not clear. Everyone does everything. Everyone brings in customers. Everyone can do invoicing. Everyone goes to the bank. So it's all about how well do you plan in between. And you wake up, you do not hold official meetings, which were not there. So those were the major precipitating points that led to those divisions and misunderstandings.
And is there always the issue of debt? If you could expand on it.
Yeah.
Contributed to this element of the fallout, or they were mutually exclusive?
Yeah, of course, debt in any scenario, even in the family, if you have a debt and you want to now tell your wife, can you please pay it today? I don't have money. It will bring a discomfort. So it has to be a joint support system that all of you actually are willing to solve the issue. But if all of you are not willing and it's left to one person because you're managing director, then it becomes a personal problem. It moves from being a company problem to a personal problem, to a point where now I had to use my own personal resources and own personal facilities to offset this kind of debts, because I knew I want to actually hold this business, but then you do not have the capacity. So you end up picking your own vehicle, take it to the bank so that you can pay up for this particular loan, so that you can sustain employees and get an overdraft and do all these things. Yeah.
Because the debt came about as a result of a loan or a collection from customers.
Yeah, everything was actually saved by the trucking business. As I told you, it's cash flow intensive. You buy fuel, you are doing servicing, you are paying for the trips, and if there's an accident, you are sorting out things on the road. So all those things were growing day by day. And one time you deliver, this client doesn't pay or takes time to pay. If they take a month to pay, then you're out, because in a month you're fueling. So you have to borrow somewhere to do this. So it's like digging a hole to fill another hole. So you keep on digging. You'll never stop, because the moment you dig the other one to fill this one, the other one becomes open. So you continue like that, and no one can come and fill the other hole for you. Yeah.
So it sounds like a kind of cash flow management issue.
Yes.
And how have you come out of the whole? To be able now to manage that properly.
Now that after that, I think 2015, I had to sit back and review what happened for the last 7 years that we could not manage to do, and is it still viable to actually run a business? And I felt yes, everything was on the part of management. And management is not just office management or employee management; it's up to customer management, asset management, income management, expenses, and all that. So how well do you actually manage your daily operations of the business? How do you forecast? Yeah, because that time we could not forecast. We could wait things to just happen naturally. But right now we've learned that you can focus the next 3 years, become disciplined, and actually run that work plan or business plan for the next 3 years, and things will work, because then you're working with what you have to achieve something. And when you achieve, you actually plow back, or you invent something else that can grow it.